So, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 26, Text 21. Yaha tu iha vai sarva abhigamaha tam amutra niraye vartamananam vajrakantaka salamalim आरोप्य निष्कर्षन्ति यस तु इवा वै सर्वाभिगामस्तम् अमृता नीराये वर्तमानम् वज्रकंटका सलामलिम आरोप्य निष्कर्षन्ति यह anyone who but iha in this life why indeed sarva abhigamaha indulges in sex life indiscriminately with both men and animals come him amutra in the next life Niraye in the hell Vartamananam existing Vajrakantaka Salmalim a silk cotton tree turns like a thunderbolt. Aropya mounting him on Nishkarsanti they pollute him out. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: a person who indulges in sex indiscriminately even with animals is taken after the death to the hell known as Vajrakantaka Salmali. In this hell there is a silk cotton tree full of thorns as strong as thunderbolts. The agents of the Yamaraja hang the sinful man on the tree and pull him down forcibly so that the thorns very severely tear his body.
I did not select anything. Whatever their default yesterday one.
So please repeat: a person who indulges in sex indiscriminately even with animals is taken after death to the hell known as Vajrakantaka Salmali. In this hell, there is a silk cotton tree full of thorns as strong as thunderbolts. The agents of Yamaraja hang the sinful man on the tree and pull him down forcibly so that the thorns very severely tear his body.
No. Coming now. Uh-huh. Huh?
Coming away. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sexual urge is so strong that sometimes a man indulges in sexual relationship with a cow, or a woman indulges in a sexual relationship with a dog. Such men and women are put into the hell known as Vajrakantaka Salmali. The Krishna consciousness movement forbids illicit sex. From the description of these verses, we can understand what an extremely sinful act illicit sex is. Sometimes people disbelieve these descriptions of hell, but whether one believes or not, everything must be carried out by the laws of nature, which no one can avoid. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Ankitam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Jutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam कृपा सिंधुभ्यो वचानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवे नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, thank you for coming for the Bhagavatam class. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter 26, text 21. So as we heard from the yesterday's class, so different punishments for our sinful activities. So among those, like here, one of the severe punishments. So what if, like, we engage in the sinful activities? It is not my subject to speak on this, definitely, because it's very heavy. So as a householders, so we also involved in so many sinful activities, knowingly or unknowingly. Of course, as a devotee, we say we avoid the sense gratification only in the matter of executing the Krishna consciousness. So we permitted to do the sex life. So here today, even which is much higher subject, means subject in the sense which is very heavy. There are the people who are actually having sex with the animals. Is ordinarily we speak, sex life is already very abominable. So what to speak of the having sex with the animals? So this is the basic principle, the basic, like, the nature of the material world, how we actually implicated in the sinful activities. We saw yesterday verses Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sanga Sanjastedu Upajayate. It means when actually we meditate on the sense objects, so that is the root cause actually. As we understand, sex life is not necessary because it will actually bind us in the material world. So that is the reason. So we are here, sitting down here. So the root cause is that, so when the person want to enjoy the senses, so then first of all we will be meditating. Either thinking, either by seeing, either touching. Just like suppose if I want to taste something which is very palatable, first of all I will see nice preparation. Then I want to enjoy in the mind. So then I want to taste. So when we taste, then we will be giving strength to the senses. So this is what how. So we will be implicated in our material conditions. So actually it's very dangerous. So we will go through from the beginning from the Bhagavad Gita. Huh? See from here, from the Bhagavad Gita. So how we are going to be so implicated? So dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangas teshu pajayate sanga sanjayate kamaha kamat krodha vijayate. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from the lust anger arises. So we will be discussing the later part of the anger all, but the root cause is that, so we first of all want to enjoy our senses. So that is so we will be thinking any subject matter, whatever it may be. So either we can be thinking of the sense enjoyment, or we can, as a devotee, we can think of Krishna. So this is both the same subject matter, but so one will be implicating, other will be liberating. So when we think of Krishna or his activities or his paraphernalia or his subject matters or hear about him, so that will be the cause of our liberation, and That is actually the gradual process. Just like this is the, so not immediately, so upon like seeing any anything which causing us the sense enjoyment, it is not like a sudden, but it is a gradual process actually. Suppose like a thief, so if you like you want to steal something, but you will be planning according to the capacity of the, according to the sin is going to indulge, so that much preparation he has to do. Suppose like he's stealing something which is very not like valuable, it may be like overnight, just immediately he will go. Or maybe suppose somebody is hungry, he will just on the street immediately, he will snatch from the roadside or something like that, he will steal and he will run. But if something which is valuable, he has to plan overnight, which is something like want to steal like the money from the bank. So for that is a requires certain amount of time, like maybe days and maybe sometimes even months. Is a over the time, like meditating, keep meditating things in this mind. So in that way, he will actually will plan to the sinful activities. The same thing. So the point is here. So when the subject same like the point we going to apply here, like we are want to do the service to the Lord, just like a begins with the association. Just like a begins with the association, taking the prasadam, hearing the classes. So all this ultimately only it is leads to the love of Godhead. Of course, that is the far subject. It's very like the after a long time of hearing all this, hearing the subject matter of Krishna and and performing the devotional service, one actually will be coming to the love of Godhead. But this is today's point. How? So these are the most abominable things which is indulge in the sex with the animals. So how much we are the people are contaminated. How much are into the sense enjoyment. There are so many things to enjoy. There are so many ways actually the people are enjoying, from starting from the tongue. So many dishes which they want to satisfy. So many things they hear. So many things they to wear. So many ways actually they want to enjoy. But you see, even after enjoying, that is still they are not satisfied. So they want to further, they want to go down. Either like a sex in the marriage life or illegal, is both are implicating. Of course, sex life is in the marriage life is sanctioned according to the instruction of Krishna. This is from the Bhagavad Gita 7.11. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of the passion and the desire. I am the sex life which is not contrary to religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas. Of course, we are not is promoting the sex life, but it's for the only the procreation. It is is mentioned. The sex is allowed, but otherwise is not. It's very because it's going to bind us in the material world. It's very abominable. You can see from these verses, we'll understand. So what is this today's the topic is the lust. So the lust and the love, which is two different things. The lust is actually which is for our own sense gratification, and is the love which is only applicable to the Krishna. So we started from the understanding the sense enjoyment, Then we going to the understanding of this, the lust and the love. The desire to gratify one's own senses is the kama, the lust, but the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is the prema, love. So this is the vast difference between the understanding of the love and the lust. So we, first of all, we want to enjoy our senses, so that's why, so we are put into this condition, Ichcha Dvesha Samutvena. So we wanted to enjoy separately from the Lord, so that's why we put into this material conditions. So material condition is what? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So these are the material conditions. So if unless one is transgress, how to stop this eating, sleeping, mating, so completely one has to stop. Then only will come to the point of love. So otherwise it's very it's not possible for the ordinary man. Just like when Prabhupada, the preaching, so one should not have the brahmachari, of course, the brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. So these are the 4 stages of the ashram. So the brahmachari, there is a no point of sex life. Then the grihasthas are allowed. The vanaprastha, there is completely stop. Then sannyas also, there is no sex life. Only in the grihastha ashram there is the permission. But when you won't preach to the ordinary people, so you have to engage, you have to do sense gratification only in the matter of Krishna service. For them is a very indigestible. Indigestion means they cannot understand. First of all, they don't know the purpose of life, to go back home, back to Godhead. So how they will understand all these things, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. So it is saying here, the desire to gratify one's own senses. So that's why we are here now. We have to completely stop. So desire to sense gratification. So that's why one who is actually greatly engaged, means one who is actually over endeavoring for the sense gratification, for them it's very difficult to come to understanding the devotional service, or maybe even to the Krishna. That's why the Bhagavad Gita is saying, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam tayaprita chetasaha. So one is too much engaged in the service, means in the sense gratification, is very not possible. It's not possible to understand. So that's why, so these are the points actually. That means how one should stop the sense gratification. There are so many verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam also. See, how can I blame her for my trouble when I myself am ignorant of my real spiritual nature? I did not control my sense, and so I am like a person who mistakenly sees a harmless rope as a snake. So we should have the knowledge what is causing for our bondage and what is the cause of our liberation. So unless we got trained, unless we don't understand why we should blame others, oh, this is the person who is causing me for the bondage. Actually, I am the reason for my own sense desires. So I am here sitting now in the material world. Not someone is a woman, or woman for the woman is a man, or man for the woman. It's my for own. I am sitting down here. He's saying here, I myself am ignorant of my real spiritual nature. Then I cannot control my senses. So I am like a person who mistakenly sees a harmless rope as a snake. So these are the few other points, like what will why should not enjoy the material senses, and is about the material sex life, because this body is only contains kapha, vata, pitta. So what we enjoy is as a is a very discussing. So we are only enjoying the senses, but not for the soul. So here it is saying, so what is this polluted body anyway, so filthy and full of bad odors? I was attracted to the flowery like the fragrance and the beauty of the woman's body. But what are these so-called attractive features? They are simply a false covering created by illusion. So when we think that we are the greatest material happiness in this the great happiness in this material world is the sex life, but what is actually the nothing but the stool, urine, and cough, mucus. Nothing but it is actually story. The Prabhupada has told that once that man wanted to enjoy the beautiful girl. So the girl told that she asked him to come back after things for the 15 days or sometime like that, 1 month, 1 week. Okay, she actually asked him to come back after 1 month, 1 week. So she asked him to come back after 1 week. Then okay, the man was very so enthusiastic, like okay, now the girl has agreed, so he wanted to enjoy full extent. Then after when he came, so he was looking for the girl. He came to the same house, where he saw her. But when he came there, he was seeing that very like very skinny with only the bones, no beauty in her face. Then he was asking her, where is the girl, who is actually she's staying there. But then the girl told that this she is actually none other than herself. Then he was very like displeased. That means she was very unhappy. How can that you are so beautiful, now you have become like no fragrance. Of course, when like when someone will want to enjoy, like only we see the bodily features. So when somebody looks, the beauty, or maybe the bodily features. But when the girl was, she was like very old, nothing there, pale. How to enjoy? Then the girl told. So you came to enjoy my beauty, right? So she told that so my beauty is there inside the pot. Because she was fasting for 1 week and she was taking all the medicine to what do you call purgative? That is she was taking that laxative. Okay, so that all our bodily, all by diarrhea, one become very weak and looks like very pale. So she told that that her beauty was kept in her small pot. When he saw that very smelly bad odor, so he was very disgusting. He was very disgusted. So this what we all like we want to enjoy in this the material world. So nothing but the blood, urine, mucus. It's a very illusion. The same like the story, so which relates us for the Pururava. Pururava, he was a great king. So Pururava actually was enjoying with the heavenly woman Urvashi. This is a chapter actually which describes how one will be, so enjoying the false enjoyment. A person fixed in the transcendental knowledge is freed from the conditioned life by giving up his false identification with the products of the material modes of nature. Seeing these products as simply illusion, he avoids entanglement with the modes of nature, although constantly among them. Because the modes of nature and their products are simply not real, he does not accept them. So this is for the devotee, because we understand the soul and the body is too different. So the soul is nothing to do with all this material enjoyment. But so here is actually narrating the story of the Pururava, how he got implicated. One should never associate with the materialistic, those beside is dedicated to gratifying their genitals and bellies. But following them, one falls into the deepest pit of darkness, just like the blind man who follows another blind man. See here, first thing that we should never associate with the materialistic. So as we discussed in the beginning, Dhyato Vishan Pumsa. So when we think of the objects, sense object, so then we start associating. Then here it is saying, so we should never associate with the materialistic who dedicated to gratify their genitals in the bellies, following them, one falls into the deepest pit of darkness. So these are the causing us for the bondage. So we should not be blind in this matter of understanding all these things. The following song was sung by the famous emperor Pururava when deprived of his wife. Urvashi was first bewildered, but by controlling his lamentation, he began to feel detachment. So because he was indulging in sex life with the Urvashi, then after he started he's lamenting actually. When she was leaving him, even though he was naked, he ran after her, just like the madman, and called out in the great distress, "Oh, my wife! Oh, terrible lady, please stop." Although for many years Pururava had enjoyed sex pleasure in the evening hours, still he was not satiated with such insignificant enjoyment. His mind was so attached to the Urvashi that he did not notice how the nights were coming and going. So because the mind is attached to the sense objects, so he didn't even notice that, and here it is saying this is very insignificant. That's why Yamunajacharya was spitting at the thought of even the sex life. Yamunajacharya is the great king, because when the great king means what? He has to associate with so many materialistic activities with the woman also. But here the Yamunajacharya is saying, whenever he think of the sex life, he was spitting at it. That was his realization. So here is the insignificant enjoyment. King Alas said, "Alas, just see the extent of my delusion. This goddess was embracing me and held my neck in her grip. My heart was so polluted by lust that I had no idea how my life was passing." So when we start enjoying our material life, the time doesn't know that how it is going. Both the rising and the setting of the sun, which takes away the one's duration of life. Jai Shri 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 Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. So just by rising and setting of the sun, once it takes away the duration of life. But because this is the material life. So when we ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha samanyamaitam pasubhi samana. So when we engage in the materialistic activities, we don't know, we don't know how much the time has passed. So we thinking that we are happy, just like our father has a son, then is the like we will get married, then we have the sons, then sons has to get married. So in that way it goes on, it's never ending. The lady cheated me so much that I did not even see the rising or setting of the sun. Alas, for many years I passed my days in vain. He's saying here, both the rising and the setting of the sun will take away the duration of life. But one who is engaged in the service of the Lord, for them is a no bondage. Alas, although I am supposed to be the mighty emperor, the crown jewel of all kings on this earth, just see how my bewilderment has rendered me to a toy animal in the hands of the woman. So the basic thing that Pumsanstriya Maituni Bhavat. When we think of the woman, then we get married, then there is a children, there is a house, then society, friends, nation. So all these are going to be coming to the picture. It's not like a sex means only to enjoy our senses. So many things are coming to the picture. So that is what beginning with our just even thought. He's saying it is even the great king. Of course, what to speak of for ordinary men. Even the great king is supposed to be the controller, means the control. He is the controller. He controls the subjects. Although I was a powerful lord with a great opulence, that woman gave me up as if I were no more than an insignificant blade of grass. And still naked and without shame, I followed her, crying out to her in like a madman. So once he gives up our life in the material life, so then we have to take birth again, according to our desires. So we take birth again, which is running of the like mad animals. We thinking that is going to give us the satisfaction, just like in the mirage. We see the water, but that is not actually water. There is an illusion. As we go further, we think that I get the water. No, it's going further away, further. It's actually not. It's ending. So where are my so-called great influence, power and sovereignty? Just like an ass being kicked in the face of the she-ass, I ran after that woman who had already given me up. So the condition of the materialistic life is like this. So when you go to the ass, if she want to have the sex, but the she-ass kicks on the male ass. I think you have not seen here, but if you go see in India, you can notice actually. This is a position. This is the condition of our life. What is the use of the big education of the practice of austerity and the renunciation, and what is the use of studying religious scriptures of living in a solitude and silence if after all that one's mind is stolen by the woman? So this word is actually the realization of the Pururava. So after his understand that how abominable the materialistic condition of life. So what is going to be the consequences? So if you don't realize this point that the matter of enjoying senses is not actually the goal of life. Nate vidu swarthagatim Vishnu. The goal of life is to understand the Vishnu. To hell with me, I am such a fool that I don't even know what was the good for me. Although I arrogantly thought I was highly intelligent, although I was achieved the exalted position of the Lord, I allowed myself to be conquered by women as if I were a bullock or a jackass. See also the famous verse actually is there in the 12th canto, how the when the man goes to the the chamber of the woman, although he may be a great king or maybe emperor, but if he's going to like a pet pet dog. Huh? This is what how you see see, I am such a fool that I didn't even know that what was the good for me, although I arrogantly thought I was highly intelligent, although I achieved the exalted position of a Lord. So see how the Maya of Krishna is very, very dangerous. Even though we sometimes I say that I am it's a devotee, but if we are free to move, then very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. It is going to cause us the bewilderment. When we got bewildered, then everything is goes down. Finish. Even after I had served the so-called nectar of the lips of Urvasi for many years, my lusty desires keep rising again and again within my heart and were never satiated, just like in a fire that can never be extinguished by the oblation of the ghee poured into these flames. So yesterday actually the same, there was a verse. So as over and indulging in the senses, sense enjoyment, that one may be stopped. But here it is saying, you see, even though we are pouring the ghee into the fire never going to stop. It's going to be increase. The materialistic life is like that. So we may think that okay, now maybe this time, okay, I will engage in this kind of service. I will engage in some other services. Like in the materialistic way, as a person think that maybe I will stop this certain amount of years. After that, I will be retired. Then I will start doing the spiritual activities. But the time will never comes. The materialistic plan, the people actually the plans like that. So now I'm 50, 60 years old. So now I will take to the chanting bag and chanting beads. Go to the some holy place. I will retire there. That will never come. Huh? Which will never extinguish actually the blazing fire of the materialistic life at any point of life. Just like the story we heard from the Akbar and the Birbal. So the Akbar was actually arguing that the old, when we become old, we are not we are not no more to we're not going to enjoy. So the Birbal was arguing. Now he was saying no, until to the point of the end of life, one want to enjoy. I think yesterday the Prabhu was also showing the slokas in the 11th canto. But the Birbal, was showing. He was saying that no, until the end of the life, one want to enjoy. So okay, then one fine day, when the one old man wanted to, I mean, he was going to die. So then the Birbal bring the Akbar to his place. So along with the Birbal, he actually bring the daughter also. So when he went to this house, so then first of all the Birbal entered. No, sorry, the Akbar entered to the chamber of the old man where he was going to die. The old man didn't look at him. He didn't see him actually. So when his daughter came inside, the old man was looking at the daughter. So then the Birbal understood. Sorry, Akbar understood. Akbar understood. So this is a condition of life. We think that so we may enjoy for this certain amount of years, then we'll stop. But it's unless the devotee will understand the higher purpose. Who but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who lies beyond the material perception and is the Lord of self-satisfied sages, can possibly save my consciousness, which has been stolen by a prostitute. So unless we go to the devotee and surrender to the Lord, it is not possible to control this, the urges of senses, which are very, very strong. Here it is praying, the Pururava is praying. Only the one who is immune to the Maya, who is immune to Maya, none other than the Krishna. One who is surrendered, fully surrendered to the Krishna, so they are very immune to this Maya. So when we go there and we surrender and render service to them, only we can overcome this. This is also same in the third canto also. A pure devotee should execute the devotional service by giving the greatest respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. He should be compassionate to the poor and make friendship with the person who are his equals, but all his activities should be executed under the regulations with the control of the senses. The devotee means he should execute the devotional service by giving respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. By attaining the highest platform of the devotional service, as I have explained, one can overcome the influence of the three modes of material nature and be situated in the transcendental stage as with the Lord. So how to overcome this one? So only by attaining the highest platform of the devotional service. So all these are the modes of material nature, which is very dangerous, very difficult to overcome. But when we surrender to the Supreme Lord, because the Maya cannot touch the Supreme Lord. So here in this verse here, among us all kinds of living entities begotten by Brahma, namely men, demigods and animals, none but the sage Narayana is immune to the attraction of Maya in the form of a woman. So of course this is we can go through this, the few verses, how the attachment begins. See, for the sake of the body, which is a source of constant trouble to him and which follows him because he is bound by ties of the ignorance and the filthy activities, he performs various actions which cause him to the subjected to the repeated birth and death. That is the sinful activities. Only for the sake of the body. But we understand that is a constant source of trouble. Constant source of trouble. If therefore the living entity again associated with the path of unrighteousness, influenced by the sensual-minded people, engaged in the pursuit of sexual enjoyment and the gratification of the palate, he again goes to the hell as before. So these are the like these things we are actually going to get when we are associated with the sense enjoyment. He becomes devoid of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of mind, control of the senses, fortune, and all such opportunities. One should not associate with a coarse fool who is bereft of the knowledge of the self-realization and who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of the woman. So this is actually verse. I think yesterday also we discussed. The infatuation of the bondage which arises to a man from the attachment to any other object is not a complete, as it is resulting from the attachment to a woman or a fellow man of a woman, fellow man of a man who are fond of women. This is the warning sign. So we should not associate with them. At the sight of his own daughter, Brahma was bewildered by her charms and shamelessly ran up to her in the form of a stage when she took the form of a hind. So just now we read this one. So only how to overcome is that we have to take the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Just try to understand the mighty strength of my Maya in the shape of a woman who by the mere movement of her eyebrows can keep even the greatest conquerors of the world under her grip. That's why Daiviyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durutaya. So only one when we take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Maya cannot touch. So otherwise it leads to disaster. So these are so many verses like we have. Of course, in the Prahlad Maharaj also says how the itching sensation of the sex life. Sex life is nothing but a itching sensation. Then the 7 N tunadi. See, sex life is compared to the rubbing of the two hands to relieve an itch. Brahmachari, so-called grahasthas who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The Kripanas, the fools who are just the opposite of the Brahmanas, are not satisfied by the repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are Dhira, however, who are sober and who tolerate the itching are not subject to the suffering of the fools and rascals. So as a householder, I have to go through all this, all the troubles. But those are the Veeras who actually who are able to control the urges of senses. Because it's a different subject matter, like we want to train from the beginning. What is the Kaumaramachare Prajna Dharman Bhagavatam Viha. So one has to train from the beginning, because today we read and what is the Bhakti Rasamrita in the morning, nectar of devotion. So it's not like that as the overnight we attain the love of Godhead, or because previously the activities of the conditioned soul, because of the previous condition activities, one we can attain the love of God, or maybe the association of the pure devotee. So because if your previous activities we have done, very pious activities, of course we have done some pious activities, that's why we are associated with the pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. But as for the general mass of people, like they say, starting with the varnashrama system, there is a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. So that is what Narada Muni also explains in the in the 7th canto. So how to conduct oneself, how to train the people, how to train train ourselves, beginning from the 5 years of old. So what to do, what not to do, everything is there in the 7th canto of 12th chapter. We can go through this one if you want to understand the varnashrama system. So really, if you want to serious about going back home, back to Godhead. This is small, like small realization, just like a householders, we understand that this the condition of life, the entangle, how we're going to end. We are entangled here, but it's once, like for our children, we should not do that. So as to serious, devotee, we should train them from now beginning, from the now onwards. Very, very dangerous the outside, like as education system, or maybe social, the structure, how the people, the children which are growing in the outside world is very, very dangerous. So we want to train them now from the beginning. We may have some hope. That do not show that whether they will become devotees or not, but we'll have the hope. Maybe at the end we may not regret that I would have done this one. If I did this one, now I won't be seeing all this in front of my eyes, like my children are spoiling in front of the eyes. At least we have the time, and also we have the courage to train them. So we should train the children to not to make them fall again to this material world. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, the one was, what is that? Nishkinchana, what is the sloka that one? 11, 8.
Don't write that. Madhya, 11 or 8.
Here, Nishkinchanasya Bhagavad Bhagavonmukonasya Param Param Jigmasir Bhavasagarasya Sandarshanam Vishainam Atayoshitam Cha Ahanta Visha Bhaksanto Pi Asadu. That means he is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying here, because he refused to attend even the kings. Prataparudra, when he came to see the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, actually Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is requesting to give the permission to see him. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting this word. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying The greatly lamenting the Lord then informed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, alas, a person who is seriously desiring to cross the material ocean and engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, without material motives, seeing a materialistic engage in the sense gratification and seeing a woman who is similarly interested is more abominable than the drinking poison willingly. So it's very heavy actually. Because for as the devotees, we preacher, we keep the as the bare minimum because we need to go to preach. If I say all these things, how to to elevate others? As we keep bare minimum, so for that our the preaching activities to help others. Because as we devotees, we don't distinguish like man or woman, but for the social structure, we need to follow because we are not still like elevated to that platform. I don't see like any like man or woman. We just only I see the soul. Otherwise, we should be seeing the soul in the tiger and the snake also. Then we can embrace them also. We cannot embrace. So the constitution is that like always Prabhu quote this verse. So we just rectify ourselves. Those who are interested in the reviving the Krishna consciousness and increasing the love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with the people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and depending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to the wife, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they're not indifferent to the execution of the duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. So just for our practice of devotional service, like as the householders, just like the bare minimum we maintain the body and the body. The rest of the time we should engage in the service of the Lord. So nothing should be goal of life other than the serving the Krishna. So I'm going to end the class here. So we have anybody have any points to be added? Any points to add? So any points to be added? Questions? So,
You saying something. There's a verse, no? There was what 1190 there? Looking for sex life creates a lot of distress. 1119, that? 111929 or something.
what is 1111?
61668.
On Sanskrit?
ముందు కూడా బంధం ఒకసారి
So those for the audience, actually the Nagopal Prabhu is actually adding few points here. This from the verse Bhagavatam 11:19-41. Real misery is to be implicated in searching for sex pleasure. A wise man is one who knows the process of freedom from bondage, and fool is one who identifies with his material body and the mind. So any other points?
6:16:60. 6:16:60. Ah, 60. 60. Where is that?
Read. Read.
Here.
Ah.
As husband and wife, a man and woman plan together to attain happiness and decrease unhappiness, working jointly in many ways. But because their activities are full of desires, these activities are never a source of happiness, and they never diminish distress. On the contrary, they are a cause of great unhappiness.
Huh?
So,
5:14:32.
See, the few other points are adding to our today's class. So from the Bhagavatam 5:14:32. Just as the monkey jumps from one tree to another, the conditioned soul jumps from the one body to another. As the monkey is ultimately captured by the hunter and is unable to get out of captivity. The conditioned soul, being captivated by the momentary sex pleasure, becomes attached to the different types of bodies and is engaged in the family life. Family life offered the conditioned soul a festival of momentary sex pleasure, and thus is completely unable to get out of the material clutches. Read purport. So any other points?
So
Saubarimun. Saubarimun.
So you cannot escape even underwater, and who is the other one? Vishwamitra. He closed his eyes,
Ah.
correct? Even he closed his eyes also he was. Is it not?
Yes.
Whereas Haridas Thakur, he managed to overcome because he has the Lord, in the heart. So until and unless you are transcendental to the modes, very difficult to escape this. Not something so easy to overcome.
Yeah.
In fact, just now that verse, no, Krishna keep every soul in the material world conditioned by this attraction to pleasure. So yesterday he showed the verse 7, 10, 8 and 9, right? Unless one can cross this, very difficult to make spiritual advancement.
O my Lord, because of lusty desires from the very beginning of one's birth, the functions of one's senses, mind, life, body, religion, patience, intelligence, shyness, opulence, strength, memory, and truthfulness are vanquished.
See, that's why it said the next verse.
O my Lord, when a human being is able to give up all the material desires in his mind, he becomes eligible to possess wealth and opulence like yours.
That's why this brahmacharya life is meant for, what is that verse? Tapasya brahmacharya, na? Samena damena va. Yeah. Hello? Hello? Yeah, he's wearing saffron color. Hello? What is it? Huh? 7-Eleven, I think.
Huh?
7-Eleven or something.
6-1.
7-10.
Tapasya brahmacharya.
7-Eleven, is it?
6-1-13.
Yeah, this is the verse. Is it?
तपस्या ब्रह्मचर्येण समेन च दमेन च त्यागेन सत्य शौचम्य यमेन नियमेन वा. To concentrate the mind, one must observe a life of celibacy and not fall down. One must undergo the austerity of voluntarily giving up the sense enjoyment. One must then control the mind and senses, give a charity, be truthful, clean and non-violent, follow the regulative principles and regularly chant the holy name of Lord.
There is another verse also, no? There's another verse on this. Huh?
Brahmachari Gurukula. Brahmachari Gurukula.
7-12-1. Yeah, Sanskrit. Oh, Brahmachari Gurukule.
Sri Narada Uvacha Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandanto Gurohitam Acharan Dasavannicho Gurau Sudrav Saudruha. Narada Muni said a student should practice completely controlling his senses. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship for the spiritual master. With a great vow, the brahmachari should live at the Gurukula only for the benefit of the Guru. 11,
11, 17, you know, how he should live with the Guru, the whole thing is there.
What is the word? 11:17. What was rule?
How you should stay in the ashram. Because it's not
I know. I know that. It's the verse after this. Thus, in the morning and evening, one should collect foodstuffs and other articles and deliver them to the spiritual master. Then, being self-controlled, one should accept for the oneself that which is allotted by the acharya. Yeah, my God.
Next verse. It's a little odd.
While engaged in serving the spiritual master, one should remain as a humble servant. And thus, when the guru is walking, the servant should humbly walk behind. When the guru lies down to sleep, the servant should also lie down nearby. And when the guru has awakened, the servant should sit near him, massaging his lotus feet and rendering other similar services. When the guru is sitting down on his asana, the servant should stand nearby with folded hands, awaiting the guru's order. In this way, one should always worship the spiritual master.
That the whole idea is to become submissive, control the senses. Next verse.
Until the student has completed his Vedic education, he should remain engaged in ashrama of the spiritual master, should remain completely free of material sense gratification, and should not break his vow of celibacy, brahmacharya.
So these are all very important because the whole idea is to control the sex urge, Next, you read.
If the brahmachari student desires to ascend to the Maharloka or Brahmaloka planets, then he should completely surrender his activities to the spiritual master and, observing the powerful vow of perpetual celibacy, dedicate himself to the superior Vedic studies.
Okay.
Thus, enlightened the Vedic knowledge by service to the spiritual master, freed from all sins and duality, one should worship me as the super soul, as I appear within fire, the spiritual master, one's own self, and all living entities. Those who are not married, sannyasis, vanaprasthas, and brahmacharis should never associate with women by glancing, touching, conversing, joking, or sporting. Neither should they ever associate with any living entity engaged in sexual activities.
In Bhagavad Gita 262, which the verse you have shown, right, Prabhu, in the purport, where it's mentioned Lord Shiva was meditating when Parvati Devi was agitating him. So he got disturbed. At the same time, Haridas Thakur was also chanting. When the lady has come to disturb him, he is not disturbed. So what is the difference? Shiva is also a greatest Vaishnava. Shiva, Lord Shiva. He was meditating. Parvati Devi came to agitate him. Kartikeya born that time. The purport was mentioned.
This case, that the Lord wanted Shiva to receive. Because the demigod, they needed somebody to commander in chief. So there's nobody in that post. So Lord Shiva had to conceive with Parvati to get this skanda, Kartikeya, So that is the arrangement of the Lord. Haridas Thakur, the role is explained there that he was not disturbed by lust. You understand? Why? Because he was chanting and of course he has the Lord in the heart. So whatever comes also he won't be. That's a fact actually. When you have Lord in the heart, then there's no way Maya can touch you. Lord Shiva, his wife is there now. I mean, what to do? Correct? So Haridas Thakur role is different compared to the role of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a householder. Just like that verse that when Sukadev Goswami was walking and his father was walking. Correct? You know where is that? Can you take it out? So when the Sukadev was walking, the girls who were bathing naked, they were no problem. But when Vyasadeva was also incarnation of God, and then nothing happened. I mean, they went quickly and dressed themselves. Oh, he's incarnation of God. Why? Because he was a householder. You understand? Okay? Can you read? I have to read. Can you read? Can read?
While Srila Vyasadeva was following his son, beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with a cloth. Although Srila Vyasadeva himself was not naked, but they had not done so when his son had passed. The sage inquired about this, and the young ladies replied that his son was purified, and when looking at them, made no distinction between male and female, but that the sage made such distinctions.
See the difference here. So a transcendentalist, Sukadev, he was naked, but he was not disturbed. So you see how the young ladies, they are not transcendentalists. The ladies are not transcendentalists here, correct? So how they could see the difference? Why? How? Huh? Yesterday was staring at their private part. Who is saying that?
Vyasadev's realization is higher than Sukadev. He was a Vaishnava, Sukadev was Brahmavadi. I think just the external to show the example for others.
Brahmavadi is also transcendental, no? Transcendentalist. Because he has not captured the lotus feet of Krishna, but he made no distinction between the bodies. He saw everyone as spirit soul. And that is a very high platform. Even to see yourself, can you go to Ishopanishad, Mantra 7, I think? First line of the purport. 7, yeah, the purport, first line. Can you read that?
Except for the Madhyama Adhikari and the Uttama Adhikari discussed above, no one can correctly see the spiritual position of the living being.
See that? It is not. It's not some easy position now to see that everyone is spirit soul.
Yeah.
It's a very high position, isn't it? So that's why when what's his name, Lord Shiva, he said, in uh, 24:313, that I know, Sukadev knows, but Vyasa know or I don't know. I don't know. You see?
Lord Shiva said, I may know, Sukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, may know, and the Vyasadeva may know or may not know Srimad Bhagavatam. On the whole, Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Purana, can be learned only through devotional service, not by material intelligence, speculative methods, or imaginary commentaries.
That so you see how Lord Shiva is saying about Vyasadeva. He is the author of Bhagavatam. Ah. So to know Bhagavatam, even you write Bhagavatam, to realize Bhagavatam, that's another thing. So when you read Bhagavatam, if you are realized soul, you can see Krishna in every pages, I think there's a verse on that also, right? You can see Krishna in every page of the Bhagavatam. Huh? You got it? So see how the realization, that's why a realized soul and a not realized soul is different. Although Vyasadeva is a very highly realized soul, but is in the ashram of a householder. And Lord Shiva is very exalted personality, but he is
Yes.
very much with Maya. So there's a verse also, Lord Shiva, he stays away from Maya when, where's that in the CC? Huh? No, in the CC. When Lord Shiva, when Maya is at full, he associates with her at a distance. He doesn't go close to her, The Maya is so strong. Although he is the controller of Maya, but still he is also, keeps himself. I think it's there, I showed the last time that verse. So it's. We can read that. 679, right?
Yeah. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, it is stated that Lord Rudra is always associated with the material nature when she is in the neutral, unmanifested stage. But when the modes of material nature are agitated, he associates with the material nature from a distance.
Maya is full, we associate with material nature from distance. You understand? How the woman is so powerful. The only way is Kanya. Hello. Itu already Kanya. Why did not hear Kanya?
No, like she is associating from a distance.
He is fully full on. He does not go near. He's not Maya. Even he is frightened of God. Common man, forget it. They are fallen. Common man is complete in Kali. Can you take out the word Kali Yuga? The three things they are attracted to. 117, what? One is pride, one is women, and the other one is what? Intoxication. Right? What is that verse? These are the three things they are attracted in Kali Yuga. All the man, 117, what is that? It's on the verse itself. Yeah, it's a verse. But it is a verse, 117 something is a verse. You type intoxication, you type, you can get, you search.
Yeah, association. Okay?
Right. Huh? 24. 1724. No, purport is a word, Can you take it out, Prabhu?
In the age of Satya, truthfulness, your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of a pride, lust for women, and intoxication.
What is that? Pride, lust, and lust for women, and these are the three things. Hey. Because nowadays this whole thing is completely disrupted with this college education. The man has become completely, what we say, spoiled. As a result, there's many families are breaking up because there's no discipline. You understand this point? So it's what to do, Kali Yuga. That's why training is very important. Told why, what you should do, not do.
We say that so many verses they should not
Best thing is to close down the schools.
phones also.
Best thing to do is close it down. Finish, no school.
The phones are
Oh,
more than the school.
even you have this boys' school alone is still contaminating. You understand? Unless you are trained in the Gurukula system, very difficult. But then in Gurukula also, in ISKCON, they are doing all crazy things also. Uh, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not go to Gurukula. He went to Gurukul, but he went home to stay. He did not stay in the Guru's house. He Kali Yuga, really gone. 500 years ago. So things are all very messed up. Only thing can do is to chant now, that's all you can do. All right, is that clear?
One more thing, like we have always men calling for women, but women, is there anything mentioned about women how they must be? If women they are falling for women, how a woman must be? Because no, even though it's happening, right, Prabhu? Even though it's happening, right?
why he says butter and fire cannot mix together.
Then how, where women are supposed to be?
Butter and fire cannot be together.
Woman is compared to fire and the man is compared to a butter pot. Therefore, a man should avoid associating even with his own daughter in a secluded place. Similarly, he should also avoid association with other women. One should associate with women only for important business and not otherwise.
Because woman's body is passionate. You know, everything of her body attracts the mind of a man, you know. You understand? That's why she has to be very chaste, keep her distance, deal only, you know, when he required. Otherwise, what they said, the royal road can have accidents. 3:30, is it? Bhagavad Gita? Even on the royal road, you can get accident. Huh? 3:34. Bhagavad Gita. But today they can't do it. They can't do it. All doing Nirjala. See, it started already. He wants his pen, I think.
As much as there is always the chance of an accident even on the royal roads. As long as the material body is there, the necessities of the material body are allowed, but under the rules and regulations. And yet, we should not rely upon the control of such allowances. One has to follow those rules and regulations unattached to them, because practice of sense gratification under regulations may also lead one to go astray.
So
As
that,
much as there is always a chance of an accident, even on the royal roads.
so therefore we have to be extremely careful. Difficult to have intermingling. That should be, you know, actually in ashrams there's no room for women. Strictly speaking. You understand? They come also, they go to the temple only. They don't go. But Kali Yuga, what to do? Yes. So even in our thing, 80 years old is falling down, sannyasi. Huh? So it's not to contact, you know, if you take service of the women unrestrictedly, you know, privately, like this, you cannot sit alone with the woman in that. What is that? Sitting verse? Hello? You cannot sit alone in the woman. You cannot sit alone. Yeah? There's nothing wrong with the woman, you know. It is there. So Prabhupada said the man is good, the woman is good. But you put
What
them
was the
together, come back.
Otherwise, the marriage will not happen.
Huh?
You are bringing together.
I mean, we have to be careful. So
This one?
we have to have, we have rules, regulations. We have to follow them as much as we can. Yeah? Matra swasa duhitrava nai viviktashano. This word, you know, na aviviktashano. Asana means seat, you know. Vivikta means close. Na means no. Understand? Balavan Indraya Gramo Vidvam. See, Vidwa means one who is even very learned, can have difficulty. Karshati. See?
One should not allow oneself to sit on the same seat even with his own mother, sister, or daughter. But senses are so strong that even though one is very advanced in knowledge, he may be attracted by sex.
In the Quran, there's a verse. One should not have sex with one's mother. You understand? See how the people were so degraded. Yeah. So you see how this is the result of the whole thing. That's why this today's subject, hell, if you do all this, what will happen? And unless these things are highlighted, it not create fear in the heart, You follow? So we have to be very cautious dealing with women. Women should also know, should not go beyond the line, There's both hand to clap, not just one hand, because it will agitate. And when it's agitated, problem. You understand? So we have to be careful. Yeah?
Prabhu, since we are talking so much about Brahmachari and Gurukul today, so Prabhu, like we are today discussing about Brahmachari instructions, right? Srimad Bhagavatam 11:17:33. So there it says that the Brahmachari should not associate with the women, girls. So in our Gurukul in the temple, boys and girls are studying together, Prabhu. So how should what should be the age to segregate them, Prabhu?
But just so you have set an example, 8 years sannyasi has followed. So here, how
So the idea of Gurukul is only boys. Girls don't go to Gurukul. There's no Gurukul for girls. Again, because the system, they cannot go and study with girls, play together. Strictly speaking, how you want to do?
how to educate
How you want to do? Actually, a woman teaching Gurukul out of the question. Hello. Don't speak about studying together. Not allowed to teach you though. Understand? What do you do? Tell me.
Prabhu, what can we do then? What can we do then?
At certain time they cannot be with them. And after 12, no more going.
how to teach women children, girl
When
children.
children, you bring them to the kitchen and make them cook and clean the pots. So, they don't need to learn anything else. The women, their training is to work under the mother. Mother trains her up how to serve the father. That is the only training she got. There's nothing else. When you're trying to train her for other things, many problems starts. Because the woman cannot be given independence. That's the biggest problem. When you give problem, the first thing, divorce. Become unfaithful. 3 things, unfaithful, divorce, and what is the other one? Prabhupada said they do these 3 things. No. When they are educated, they learn how to do these 3 things. One is to be unfaithful, other one is to get divorced, and the other one what? What is the other one? So anyway, The main thing is that because of independence, it promotes these things, you know. Not that we keep them as slaves, but the idea is that they should learn how to be submissive. For the woman, the husband is the guru, and they should see him as their representative of God. I think there's a verse on that, right? 7:12, is it? 7:11 can take out. There's a role there. She should learn how to see, you know, her husband as. Of course, that's why he said that she cannot serve her husband who is fallen. Huh?
A chaste woman should not be greedy but satisfied in all circumstances. She must be very expert in handling household affairs and she should be fully conversant with the religious principles. She should speak pleasingly and truthfully and should be very carefully and always clean and pure. Thus, a chaste woman should engage with affection in the service of husband who is not a fallen.
In this one it's mentioned women should be religiously sure how she knows the
Trained by the.
A woman should think of her husband as a supreme lord. Similarly, a disciple should think a spiritual master as the supreme personality of Godhead. A Shudra should think a Brahmana as the supreme personality of Godhead. And a servant should think of his master as the supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay. So if you just play your role well, then you're okay. You understand? So like now you are trained by your mother to be chaste, so many things. Then you train your daughter. Simple thing, how to train. Main thing is to keep the sex life thing completely under control. That is the cause of all the problems, you know.
329.
Understand? That's why Arjuna also say, if I kill the
328,
man,
10.
then the woman finish. You understand? So this is why we are learning today the sex life, what happens? You go to hell, you go, you know.
10.
So dangerous, you know. The whole idea is to keep it under. And only if you become connected to Krishna, this can happen. If you are not, it's not possible. It's not.
many devotees in ISKCON,
10:29.
They're not connected
24.
to Krishna.
chanting
They're not connected to Krishna because they're offending Prabhupada. If the moment you offend Prabhupada, then your whole spiritual life is useless. What is it? Oh, the chair. We're going to stop the class anyway. Correct? You understand? Cannot compromise with sex life. Not uncompromisable. That's why 3 ashrams cannot connect. Only one is allowed. And that also is very strict, you know, not that is loose. No? Because this frivolousness is very bad. The whole society will collapse. You understand? Country will collapse. You see America. Why the American society has collapsed? And the women are prostitutes. Finish. And then Indians are chased. They're upset because Indians are performing. So, you understand? Even Indians also in trouble. What do you want to do? Whole world is messed up. Vanna Shankara Vijayate. Yes? Huh? I mean 100%. Why 60%? No, because the women are prostitute, unchaste, and all society will collapse. Already there in the Gita. What is that? 140, 42, is it? 142. Is that? One before that. 40. See, when this happens, that's why the women, they're so important. In fact, the woman make the country or break the country, make the family or break the family. You understand?
When irreligion is the prominent in the family, O Krishna, woman of the family becomes polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vishnu, comes unwanted progeny.
Finish. Understand? The women are more important than the man. And that's why they have to be trained, be changed. There's no other role, Yeah. And now you can see how countries, why all collapsing. They think collapsing because the others are coming, taking their job, this and that. The others are more qualified than you. Why they are more qualified? Because they come from parents who are chaste. You understand? You cannot perform, you don't get the brains, That's why you're going to train daughters, you have to teach them this thing, so that the children they produce are all God-conscious children. If they are Varna Shankara, you see degradation, you see the next verse. What happens when irreligion is prominent? Eh? Unwanted
increase.
population, hellish life for both family and those who destroy family tradition. Because they're not religious. Yes? And the woman is responsible for that. So she should understand this. Very careful. Yes? 564. 564, I think.
An unchaste woman is easily carried away by the paramours, and it is sometimes happens that her husband is violently killed by her paramours. If the yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it, his mind will give facility to enemies like lust, anger, and greed, and they will doubtlessly kill the yogi.
See this? You understand? Krishna also spoke to Rukmani, no? What is that verse? 60, yeah. 1060. 1060, 50, is it? Whole class again at 10:30. Hello. Women's class. Women's class. Eh? Because it's all there. 1060.
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavatam 1060, 50, 52. Anyone knows that verse? Can you go? Yeah. Can you read this? 51. Chaste. Woman should be chaste. Next. 48, no? 50. 51, 52, is it? Go down. Go to the next one.
O sinless one, I have now seen firsthand the pure love and chaste attachment you have for your husband. Even though shaken by my words, your mind could not be pulled away from me.
Next verse.
Although I have the power to award the spiritual liberation, lusty persons worship me with penance and vows in order to get my blessings for their mundane family life. Such persons are bewildered by my illusory energy. O supreme reservoir of love, unfortunate are they who, even after obtaining me, the Lord of both liberation and material richness, anchors only for the material treasures. These worldly gains can be found even in hell. Since such persons are obsessed with sense gratification, hell is the fitting place for them.
Give me a minute.
48.
48 to 28.
A mind of the a mind of a promiscuous woman, Promiscuous woman always hankers for new lovers, even if she is married. An intelligent man should not keep such an unsafe wife, for if he does not, he will lose his good fortune both in his life and next.
And 60, 54.
Fortunately, O mistress of the house, you have always rendered me faithfully devotional service which liberates one from material existence. This service is very difficult for the envious to perform, especially for women whose intentions are wicked, who lives only to gratify bodily demands, and who indulges in duplicity. In all my palaces, I can find no other wife as loving as you, O most respectful one. When you were to be married, you disregarded all kings who had assembled to seek your hand, and simply because you had heard authentic accounts concerning me, you sent a brahmana to me with your confidential messages.
By hearing.
Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death.
So those days, how the woman got preached, Prabhu. Now we are coming to temple and hearing here. Those days, where they got the preaching through the husband or through the mother. Mother also must have heard from husband only. So how this has been started preaching for the woman?
So the woman, they are given chance to associate in the sense that they hear from this, like someone speaking, they go attend classes. So just like you see the case of Prahlad Maharaj, Narada Muni took a mother to the ashram, of course this is a rare circumstance. And he spoke to the boy, mother heard. So she also benefited. Of course she forgot later on, but she heard. Anytime you associate, you benefit with the sadhus. Not that they are not totally kept away from the sadhus. There are talks, there are, places that they can go. But actually, there's a verse also, Prahlad Maharaj say, even women, they can also be liberated, I think it's 7. It is in this verse. I was showing it the other day. 7:17. Huh?
7:17.
7:17.
Prahlad Maharaj continued, "My dear friends, if you can place your faith in my words, simply by that faith you can also understand transcendental knowledge. Just like me, although you are small children. Similarly, a woman can also understand the transcendental knowledge and know what is the spirit and what is matter."
Yes, they're not excluded. Right? The woman also. And there's another verse, you can go 11:5. First 11:5, first few, you can see there. There is a man for women also. Okay, you got that? You go 11:5, first few verses. 11:5. 11:5:4. Get that? They can go and question.
There are many persons who have little opportunity to take part in discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, and thus it is difficult for them to chant His infallible glories. Persons such as women, Shudra, and other fallen classes always deserve the mercy of great personalities like yourself.
Krishna also said, no, Bhagavad Gita, everyone can come to me. Right? So there's yeah. No, there's no bar, If you are interested, if you're serious about it, then you get all the positive association. Not that we are excluding women, keeping them on the side. No, not that. Because we don't want to mix that, we cannot allow that. But at the same time, this knowledge is not, it is not forbidden from the woman to get it, is it? It's not said that like the other religion, the women, they cannot be educated, they cannot know excess, You see there, they wear black, they see that, whatever. But ours is not like that, We don't say you cannot get access to this knowledge. Everybody can go. You follow. You understand? But intermingling, that's not allowed. And material education cannot help you also. That's why it says it's paravidya and aparavidya. Right? Can you hear me? Cannot hear. Why am I holding this thing? So is it clear? Any more questions? Any woman's liberation? Allow? I got to ask Narada.
So we said like they should not. Sorry, Prabhuji. So Narada Maharshi took Kayadu to protect her. How he can took her to his ashram? Because we had seen in Shastra that they should not, associate with women.
He can keep anybody in the house and not get affected. He's a pure devotee, different.
Yeah,
But
just like Rama.
it's just like
Ramananda Rai.
Prabhupada explained in that, what's his name, Ramananda Rai.
Yeah, Ramananda Rai.
Ramananda Rai, he was bathing the young girls naked, they were bathing his private part and all that, to decorate them to dance for Jagannath. Do you know?
Jagannath.
You don't know.
Jagannath Nataka.
So when he was doing that, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard that, He said only Ramananda Rai can do that. For others, this is not possible. So similarly, just like that, Narada Muni, beyond this body. But this kind of things cannot be imitated. You understand? It's not something that everybody does or what. Transcendentalist. So anyway, Narada is definitely a transcendentalist. Still as a brahmachari. He's a brahmachari, right? Huh? Friend. I don't think anyone can try to do. Just like Lord Shiva can drink poison, you cannot try to imitate that. Understand? Yeah. Certain things are done by certain because Krishna empowers them to do that pastime. To teach us, You follow?
Will come up like that. I'll do something different.
They're all doing anyway. All these guys are doing crazy leelas, That's why he says if you can give up sex life, then that's it. The spiritual world, the door is open for you. Moment you can control your mind, that's it. You can. Bhagavad Gita 6:14, 6:15. What is that? The moment you can 6:7, I think, 6:7. The moment you can control your mind, the super soul is rich. Yeah, 6:7 is it? 6:7. 6:7. You don't know. 6:7. Yeah, my mind is still not. Yeah, 6:7. Where you going? You just type 6:7. You just put function 4. You go to function 4, you'll come to it. He doesn't know how to use it, I think. Go and show him how to do. F4. You should show him the F4. He doesn't know how to do. No, he's not doing right.
6:7.
Show him how to do. No? Function
6:7 Bhagavad
4.
Gita.
Okay.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already rich, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same.
This is the transcendental position. When you have conquered the mind, then you got the super soul. It means you get Krishna, then no more problem. Understand? Maya will not touch him. Yes, this is the whole thing. Either you are with Maya or you are with Krishna. Yes. Only by going to Krishna you can overcome Maya. Right? 10:88:5. Chant the Sanskrit. Hello. Chant. You cannot chant it. Chant the Sanskrit.
हरि निर्गुण साक्षात् पुरुषः प्रकृतिपरः स सर्वदृग् उपदृष्टा तं भजां निर्गुणो भवेत्. Lord Hari, however, has no connection with the material modes. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the all-seeing eternal witness, who is the transcendental to the material nature. One who worships him becomes similarly free from the material modes.
That one who worships him becomes similarly free from the material. Right. So chant. We have to chant. At least I have to chant. I don't know about you, but I definitely have to chant. All right, anyone else? Well, hey. Hello. You want to say something? Okay.
Okay. So in the class here, Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I hope